Hey guys, so I'm gonna pick up from where we left off. I've got the same composition open that we made in the last video. So just this kind of basic setup where the camera wiggles around and just kind of this grungy sort of scene. So now we're gonna add music in and start making text over top. So I've got a song here. It's a shameless plug. It's my own band. So I just have a little section of it here. On the keyboard, if you hold Command and Scrub, you can hear the audio. A lot of people have trouble with trying to hear audio in After Effects. It's not really made for it, but you can definitely do it. So I'm going to drag it down here and just put it at the bottom. So if you have the numeric keypad and you press the period on it, it'll play through the audio. So it just kind of helps when you're lining up the text and all that stuff. So let's start dropping in some text. This is probably the most tedious part of making lyric videos. There's really no easy way to do it. So we'll just get started on it here and you can follow along. So I just did the text tool, dropped it here. I believe the first lyrics are you, and you are the reason. So we're going to have to go one word at a time. Just gonna, so this font, you can really use whatever font looks cool to you. I'm just gonna use this kind of basic one here. So yeah, like I said, you can type in the whole sentence and you are, and then over here in the text layer, you can go down and there's a bunch of animation options, but to me, they kind of look like garbage and a sort of a cheap way out. So if you want some cool results, I think you got to put in a little bit of work, unfortunately. So we're gonna go one word at a time. So I'm just gonna type the first word and hit A on the keyboard on the first word, and we kind of want to line up. Oh, sorry. Before you do anything, make sure that the text is also a 3D layer by checking the 3D box. And then at the anchor point that we just opened by pressing A, you kind of want to make sure that the anchor is in the dead center of the text for most of the time. There's reasons that you would not want it there, but just generally I like to have the anchor right dead center of the text. So there we go. So I'll just move that up here for now. And then I'm just going to duplicate the text by clicking on it and hitting Command D. And I'll just type in the next word. And you hit P for position, and we can kind of move it over quickly. I'm just working at a low resolution, so it goes a lot faster. Down here, I'm just on third. It's just a bit slow, my computer's recording. And you are, so we'll do that word next. Position, drag it over. Duplicate again. The, and then position, move it over. And then the last word is reason, so maybe I'll duplicate it. Then maybe what I'll do is kind of make it reason, and I'll kind of maybe make the text a lot bigger and just put it directly underneath. Keep in mind when you change the size of the text, the anchor right here is going to go way off. So hit A and try to line that up for the middle. For this one, I'll line up the anchor right at the base of the word just so I can kind of show you the difference of setting up the anchors. So you can kind of see right here, it's on the base in the middle. So we'll click this, hit P, we'll go back here and center it and then pull it down. So there we go. So now we've got the words lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the first one, hit Shift and click on the last one, hit P, and then we can kind of move them all at once where we want them. So just kind of put them like that. Now remember, these are also in 3D space. So if you select them all, remember this, the one here, 0, that's the Z axis. So we kind of want to move that forward so that it's coming away from the background wall. So if we scroll down to the camera here and click P and we move forward, we can see that that also has kind of in its own dimension there. Cool. So let's animate the text. So this is pretty basic stuff. There's tons of ways to do this, and like I said, I'm just going to kind of show you some basic stuff, and you can apply it however you want. So I just moved these other words out of the way because we're just going to start with the first word that comes up, and. So I'm just going to hold command. I'm going to drag over till I find and. It starts about there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the and. And then this is what I like to do. Generally for text animation, I like to do stuff with rotation and less with position, just because when you start keyframing the position, it's really hard to move around if you want to change the actual location of the word. So I'm just going to do rotation. So click on the and press R, and that'll bring up the rotations. So you got the Y rotation, flips it that way. Sorry, that was the X rotation. This is the Y rotation, turns it that way. So, you can kind of create whatever you want. So I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, what was it, the X one? Yeah. So I'm going to hit a keyframe for X, and I'm just going to drag this over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so frames. That's cool for now. And then I'm going to go back here and flip it so it comes about 270, so that when it comes in, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It kind of flips in. And so what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to kind of give it a little effect so that it kind of flips and then bounces into position. So right here, it's right back to absolute 0. So we'll flip it. And then we're actually going to make this keyframe go over. So it kind of goes over. So it over rotates 20 degrees. And then we'll go forward a few keyframes. And then we'll bring it back so it flips kind of back and maybe minus 10 degrees. And then go over a little bit more. And then it finally finds its way back to 0. So if we play through, it'll be a little slow. You can see it kind of bounces and then rocks into position. It's a little jerky. So what I like to do is click on the keyframe, the ones where it's kind of rocking, go to keyframe assistant. Sorry, that was right click. Go to keyframe assistant and hit easy ease. I'll do this for these two. That just kind of smooths out the transition of it rocking from forward to backward, just makes it a little more smooth. And then on this last one, I'll right click and I'll do easy ease in. That just kind of brings it to a smooth stop. So it's a little choppy for a sec, but I'll let it render and then I'll do it again. So just kind of a smooth thing. So the nice thing about using rotation instead of position is that now that we've kind of made this, if we want, if we're feeling a bit lazy, we can select these keyframes and we can hit Command C and copy them. And then what we'll do is we'll find the next word. So he says you right about here. So now I'll bring the U word back into it. And all I have to do is, now that I'm on this layer, I can just word. So, and you, like that. So I'm just going to be lazy. Of course, each word individually, you could make them rotate. You could make them fly in, whatever you want. I'm just going to go through and I'll just do this for all the words except for reason. So we'll go. So he says R right here. So I'll drag that out. I'll click Command V and paste the same rotation. Go to the next word. So he says the right about here, and then paste it again. Okay, so then we'll just move forward to where he says reason. Okay, so now I'll drag reason in. So basically the difference with the anchors and where you put them is, you saw the last words were kind of rotating right in the middle. This one, since I put the anchor down at the bottom, if we rotate the X value, you see that it kind of like comes up from the ground. So, it just kind of affects it, and you can animate it differently. So I'm going to put this right at 90 degrees. Nope, because camera, there we go. So I'll just kind of make it flat so you can't really see it at first. And then I'll do a keyframe. I'll go forward and I'll bring it up. And like I did with the last one, I'm going to kind of make it so it over rotates a bit. So we'll click like -15 and then go forward a bit. and we'll bring it back to 0. Right click, easy ease, right click, easy ease in. Okay, so that should be pretty cool. So we'll just play through this for a second. We'll watch it all come up. There we go. Play through it again so it's faster. Cool, so that's pretty easy. And then if you go up here, usually there's a preview window. You can RAM preview it, and that's really the best way to watch it with music. Just kind of make sure you're on time. And then one more cool thing I like to do is there's this motion blur tab. So it kind of simulates like a motion blur on all the words as they're animating. So I like to turn that on, especially for the words. You can do it for, all the, if you're having the camera flying around, it might be cool to do it on these dirty lens textures or the background so it looks blurry while the camera's all flying around. So we've turned all these on, and then you just got to go up here to the enable motion blur so that it actually takes effect. And you can see now, I'll just let it render for a sec again. You can see that the text kind of blurs and it just kind of makes it look a little more realistic. So that looks pretty cool for now. So I'll stop the video here and just so you can take it all in, and we'll move on in the next video. Thanks for watching.